to see them. Another thing is you have all of this time. This is very important. Maybe when you're in South America, you pretend like you don't speak Spanish and you don't know, so you're not a threat to everybody. So they're speaking Spanish right in front of you, talking about, this nigga's he's not a threat. Should we take his money? Nah, hell, he'll make us more money. He just sitting there, he'll make us more money. And just like if in these days, strategic thinking, before they get on that day-to-day, we're watching you day-to-day. Before then, way before that, you have a team just looking out for you. You can't act off of that the information they give you. You can't act off that. It's like, I don't know if y'all saw this movie about the Enigma machine. The movie where the British had got this big computer machine and they could plug in this and they couldn't figure out how to get it to work real good. So they said, we got to have something that we could feed off of. So the only thing they could decode is Heil Hitler, right? If y'all remember that. And so they plugged that in the machine. They say, plug Heil Hitler in the machine. So when they did that, everything started turning and rolling, and then they could tell the ships, you know, like the Americans broke the Japanese code too. So in Midway Island, they said, well, how are we going to prove that they know about that? So they said, tell them the refrigeration unit is out on such and such a place, place number 17 or something. What are you? So the Japanese picks it up and they said, there's such and such is out on place number 17. That's Midway. So they're going to attack Midway. Midway was the first big battle they won. They caught the Japanese cruisers, no, aircraft carriers, which were very deadly in those days. The other thing about the German code breaking, some of the people broke the code and they said, that ship, my cousin or my uncle or my brother is on that ship. He said, well, we can't tell them to do that. If we tell them, hell, they'll know we broke the code, right? So they broke the code, but they had to not tell nobody, because if they told anybody, they would act off it. So you have to be messing with everybody and you just going on. You have to use your brain. It helps you develop your brain. I mean, and it helped so much, it's unbelievable, by not knowing. Because if you knew, this nigga said this nigga said that, then you act off of that. So the nigga come in, you say, nigga, I know you got it, that. Right? You don't do that. It's deep. Okay, the proof of its depth is that everybody wanted to act differently about what happened. And we didn't do it. I'm going to go a long way around and I'm going to leave it like design fitna, psycho-degradable, just like studying the doo-doo. Movement doo-doo, everything has a residue. It has a smell to it. You can tell what the government has been up to, how it smells, how it looks, what it does. Once you get the game, it's too bad. And he can't fool you because you can add in, well, if they think this, if they think that, you have several scenarios. Remember, we always talk about 3 scenarios. What's happening on the surface, right below the surface, and deep down, right? So, suppose we are under this pressure for the last 50 years. all this stuff on the surface. Imagine what we all know now. Imagine what's happened to the right. Imagine that it's a guy studied law, got his law stuff, came in here and looked at the whole stack of stuff and haven't been back since. Why? Why do certain people in Oakland, the whole roster, this is not the whole roster, but it's part of the whole roster. You know, they're going to have to explain why they knew, right, that we was helping Mukhtar and feeding Mukhtar and doing everything to Mukhtar and his family, and Mukhtar is acting like what? For what reason? For what reason, right? What reason? Why would he do the exact thing, especially in the very beginning, that they have in the COINTEL program? Because you can recognize the COINTEL program, so you're going to react off of that, and you got it go right across that COINTEL program. You don't like to tell a thing go across down Times Square. It's insanity. And every time you have to tell people, stand down, don't do nothing. We do this all the time. Why would a guy attack one of your sons on the doggone thing and put it on the thing? Put it on the thing, everybody will see it. Okay, good. Great. It's great. Now the police didn't kept them alive all these years. They didn't know they was keeping them alive. They thought they was getting them away from me. But think about people that are now like, my oldest son is 55, my youngest is 52. How many people in their crew got that age? Nobody hardly. And it clicked to me years ago. First my oldest son said, yeah, Dad, I got a scrapbook full of dead people. I said, even the little guy, when we went to Angel Island in '77, and it was turning flips with the natural, he said, yeah, he's gone. Everybody gone. All except for the girls, all the niggas is gone. They took my sons and arrested them, put them in jail. Right? And both of them. Because when they was there with me, they could see everything like I see it. Yeah, Dad. And they would say, yeah, Dad, that guy is like a B-word personality. You look at him and do that. So, yeah, that's true. And then I'd ask them how they come to that conclusion. And it's the funniest thing in the world. I didn't come to that conclusion the same way they did, but we came to the same conclusion. So God then gave them a method for their age, right? For their time that they live in. And then they still alive. And remember, that's what I prayed for. Oh Lord, just keep them alive till they know what's going on. Now they know what's going on, right? I didn't pray for other stuff. I just prayed for them to stay alive till they could not to get took out when they 12 or 15 and don't know no better. You know, want them to grow up, get a chance, and now they're grown. And I got to tell them, say, y'all old as me, I can't tell you nothing no more, and I'm not going to tell you nothing anymore. But they kept them alive. The police did, by keeping them away from me. And all their friends is dead. All of them. Okay, listen. Just 90% of them are dead today. And the rest got little bags on their side and going around in little wheelchairs and stuff, paralyzed. It's sad what they did to the brothers. It's sad what they did to our people. It's sad what they're doing right now. But remember, ain't nobody doing nothing about this. But we're dedicated to it. That's why, now this stuff about writing your own story is very, very important. We said it a while back. Now And we said everybody's going to get a good story. And we all remember that, right? So let's start right off. We didn't know it would be this soon, but we said everybody's going to get a good story wrote about it. We're not going to go back into the past. We're not going to go back into other stuff. We tell them they're going to be heroic. That's our job. That's our privilege. Yeah. We're going to tell the story the way we want to tell it. We've already started. You can see it's already started. Okay. One of the things I wanted to mention, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah pardons mistakes and forgetfulness of my followers and what they are made to do by force. What they're made to do. Is boss man making us do stuff? Oh, he is. It's not, I'm going to let you get us off the hook. No, it's not that. They don't know nothing. They haven't had a chance to know nothing. What are we going to do? We're going to increase our everything. Just like we got all of our As-Sabiqun, we're going to triple up that, quadruple that. This will be a media center, worldwide media center, right here. That's what it's going to be. Okay. While we're still going to do the things that we talked about, Masjid, school, business, living close together, right? So, our property here, property on 8th Street, we ain't selling nothing. We're going to develop it right here. And it covers everything. We're not leaving out anything that we wanted to do all the time. Masjid, boom. School or business, right here. Living close together, right? This is, as of now, as of last week, the functional strategic command center for the movement. That's the way we visualize it. That's the way it's going to be. It has no difference. It makes no difference of the little schemes they got. Good for you. Go ahead and do it. And they're going to stop nothing. No, they can't stop you from doing nothing. Bump them people. I'm telling you, from sitting right in front of them, and we've been dealing with them directly for over 50 years, and we're still here. And we've been running game on them. They have not been running game on us. Everything they have done to us is floated to the surface. And everybody that's on their team are visible. Everybody that's with Boston is visible. Either they did or they refused to do something or they didn't pay no attention. Why would nobody not pay any attention to things that are happening? Well, technically I'm at least a human being and I'm a Muslim. You mean? This stacks of stuff is not important.
You know, just a comment, like I remember that the official statement we got from CARE was that they said it was an internal affair. And you know, even if you couldn't convince them that, yeah, this is the feds doing this, the Quran says that they, you know, when Muslims are in dispute, you're supposed to figure out who's right.
Make peace between them, find out who's right.
Who's right, band together, stop the bad guy. That's right. You know, but they just said, that's hands up.
Well, number one, they didn't say nothing to me.
Okay, right, that's true, yeah.
They didn't say nothing to me. I'm a human being, they could at least say, hey man, let's talk about it. Hey, we don't want to get involved, but we got a whole team of lawyers here. We're going to write up the program for you, just tired. They could have did the same thing down there.
Right.
Okay, you got to remember, we have to educate people on their white subservient mentality.
Yeah. Negroes
is almost like and the foreign Muslims are almost like the Negroes in Django. Remember the white boy is saying they got a little spot back here and just make them subservient to white folks? That's what Of course, it's not true, but if you looked at it, you would think it was.
Right.
Well, the issue is, organizations like that don't react unless it's one, something for them, and there's some publicity behind it.
Yeah.
And so we're creating our own, like you said in the video, we're creating our own understanding and controlling of the narrative. So to them, that they're consistent, that don't matter until it's accepted by
By our enemy.
By our
But
enemy.
you can see, you can look at anything we're talking, and remember, we're just getting started.
Right.
And we went down to care, what, 3, 4, 5 times at least?
Might have been 5, yeah.
At
I
least.
think it was 5.
They didn't even come outside. Okay, what's that about? Don't even come outside. And don't add in to how many Suburbans full of white males came by. You know what I mean? It's so ridiculous. These things, the other things prove that it's not internal.
Right. Yeah.
If it's internal, what do they have? They have some paperwork saying that they could do this? It's not internal, it's the government did it. But that's no problem. Remember, we've been trying to let people off the hook for years, but they never took the bait because this is what our job was to do, was to educate people. Remember, the academic part of it, to educate our people. If you don't educate the people, they won't know how to defend themselves. That's what it's all about. Therefore, our programs will become even more. One brother told me, oh, those programs you're doing, man, is like news broadcasts. But we're going to do it more professional. We're going to rehearse sometimes. Like, say, we may have a Tuesday night rehearsal, or something like that, for what we do Thursday, or whatever we want to do. The Jummah will be Islamic. I see the people are responding better when it have more visible Islam, so that's fine. But it's going to be movement Islam. There ain't going to be no rocking chair Islam. Right? It ain't been no, hey man, it's going to be, in fact, yeah, it's going to be more uncomfortable, you know,
I like it.
to hear that, what we're going to talk about. But anyway, these Sunday programs are all designed for, let's call them guides to better living. But the battlefield, we're studying the tactics that they have and the strategy that they have. And we have been studying it. And we've been studying everybody. This is one of the old Project Imam Hussein in America. So I took this to our brothers' programs. They didn't respond. The same programs we helped build a whole structure. There's something going on that has a racial element, and all immature people have it. They have to feel in control. It's not this, okay, so they say my grandson was martyred. I'll just tell you the truth, I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I don't believe it at all. I know where everybody's acting. I have no, I think he's in a witness. I told my son, say he's in a witness protection program running around somewhere. Probably got a beeper on him. If I get close to him within 100 miles, it'll start beeping and tell him to go the other way. Right? Just not to be, I don't believe that anybody would hear the phone calls from Khadijah and Mukhtar now, 6, 8 hours ahead of him being killed, right? And nobody's interested in the case. The government's not interested, and the niggas ain't interested. Nobody's interested. Right? And the way the people was acting, it's a long story. I don't believe it. But if he was martyred, you mean you could call me 8 hours before? 7 hours before. They found the body, so-called, the police found the body. That means all the stuff that's going on is CIA deep, right? This stuff is all that deep. It ain't no, yeah, I'm sorry. It is no child's play, but it is to us. This is child's play. Can you imagine you get involved in stuff so long that it's almost like a joke? It's a joke. Other people would be paranoid. Because this stuff is happening, it's true. This is true stuff. Of course, we don't have time to mention all of it, but it's real. It's a big joke. And we're treating it like a joke. In Circumvent 2020, we have the Arab invasion of the last independent Masjid. We'll maybe show that next week. The Arab invasion of Masjid al-Islam in Oakland. I'm standing there by myself, and they just crashed the door, and I just move on back happily to show the people who the hell are they? What right do they have when we close the masjid for repairs? Who are they? And they all talking about, we with Mukhtar. How you get with Mukhtar? When everybody in Oakland and everybody in the whole region have bayah to me. And for what reason? Did somebody do something to you? Right? And we got on we're saying on our information, on the lectures, the khutbahs we're giving, that we're going to make the section over there, we're going to give that to the Arab brothers for a masjid. Anybody remember that? And next door, we're going to have a Spanish-speaking masjid. But on other activities, we're going to be all that together. Why? So the people can sit there in the Spanish-speaking masjid and just love everything. And all the Arabs, there's tons of Arabs in Oakland. They can sit there comfortably